Afternoon drive. Top of the afternoon. Toxic masculinity. That's today's topic. People is accusing me of always knocking black people, or I don't know what they. Now I'm knocking black people. I'm knocking black homosexuals and black LGBTQs by expressing and even trying to get them to acknowledge that lifestyle is unnatural. It's not biological. If you're born with functioning male or female sex organs, penis and testicles, a vagina and ovaries and clitoris, or whatever you call it, and they work, and then you want to have sex though with the same gender, but you want to, I guess, like I said, orgasm with that functioning sex organ that orgasms as a vagina, or it orgasms as a penis and testicles, then the problem is not physical. The problem is not physical. The problem is mental. The problem is mental and psychological. Just like Dave Chappelle said, I feel like I'm a female trapped in a male's body. Okay, regular females, the natural regular female, don't necessarily want a penis in their anus. That's not where the stimulation really is at. So to say I'm born gay, like I'm born craving to if I'm a male, I'm born craving to have a penis in my anus, where anuses don't even, they're not even made for that. So I'm just trying to bring it all the way home and bring it all the way down to earth of how this is a mental condition. And I'm not saying that it's the homosexual's fault, because in most cases homosexuality is a product of molestation. It's a product of being molested as a child, or it's a product of being poisoned, chemically imbalanced by vaccinations or prenatal shots or something that our mama was getting when she was pregnant with us, or that we was getting shot up with in school or as a child, that inhibits your natural testosterone, the plastics and the waters and all that stuff. All that is proven to be turning frogs gay, to be changing the gender of frogs and changing the gender of fish. It bends the gender. So I'm not bashing, and we don't be bashing the victim, but then you can't use your victimized status to try to bully, people that's telling you the truth about your condition. So we coming up with all these, y'all coming up with these toxic masculinity, and you're a hater, and you teach hate, and God don't hate, and bring God into it. Okay, that's why I bring God into it. God just means nature. Now, we ain't got to open no Bible or no Quran. We just talking about, let's open nature. Let's open the book of your anatomy. You know what I'm saying? What organs is made for what? How can you reproduce? How can you procreate? You can't. You know what I'm saying? So if everybody really wanted to practice, and that was really the natural thing to do, and they wanted to strictly practice homosexuality, then humanity would be extinct in 2 generations. So I don't want to know. Like, you should just leave them alone, whatever they want to do in their bedroom. Yeah, I don't. Like, y'all have never seen what color toilet tissue I use. You've never seen nothing that I do in my toilet, in my bathroom. I know how to keep that 100% private. I don't need to walk outside and be like, protesting because somebody don't like I gotta have shit on my hands or something. Like, I need to let y'all know that I got what I do in my, It's the same thing. If that's what you want to do, you keep that to yourself. But if you imposing that on my children and on society and trying to act like those rights of who you want to have same gender sex with is equal to black people's human rights and the black people struggle and all of that, y'all can go to hell with that one. See, that's when you're gonna bring out, you know, the extras, because that's not the same struggle. You homosexuals, black homosexuals are victims. You're victims of an enemy, a scientific enemy, a Satan, wickedly wise scientists that have poisoned you, or local little devils that might be our daddies or our uncles or our brothers or some woman that molested us when we was little and got us interested in having sex, got you thinking about sex as a child. Children don't think about no damn sex, let alone same sex. So, I'm driving now. I'll be right back in a few minutes. Give me a minute. I'm back. Oh, shit, that's dark. I'm back. Back to life. I want to talk about toxic masculinity. And I want to talk more about homosexuality. Can we talk about homosexuality without accusing like each other of whatever? Happy for a Haas, peace. Camera draw, Chris, peace. I want to talk about homosexuality. I really would love to talk with a homosexual, you know, a black one, a black homosexual. Bulldog Snore, TJ, peace, what up with it? Because I really just wanted, not without even getting into no judging and no emotions and no feelings. I mean, even though the feelings and emotions is high, because there's a lot of frustration going on. I imagine if you're a black homosexual, it's a lot of highly charged emotional issues going on, along with what we already got to deal with. But like I was saying on the last live a few minutes ago, so many of our people be in their feelings saying that you bashing homosexual, you bashing gays, and God loves everybody, and God don't love everybody. You know, God loves who loves him or her or the truth. If we don't love the truth, then God don't love us. So, Felicia, peace. So it ain't no such thing as unconditional love. There's no such thing as that. You know what I'm saying? Not righteous love. All righteous love got conditions. You can't love disobedience. You can't love rebellion. You can't love wickedness. You can't love evil. So, I really want to talk with a homosexual. I really would love to go on live with a homosexual and just ask them some questions and let them ask me some questions. And it ain't got nothing to do with judging. I mean, it ain't got nothing to do with condemning, because I'm definitely judging. That's what the human brain is created for. Every conscious move you make, every conscious decision you make, whether it's to eat with your left hand, to chew 3 times, to step outside and cross the street, to try to make that light before it turns red, or what, every decision you make is judging. You're judging. So don't let nobody misinterpret that word like, well, God said you can't judge. That's absolutely wrong interpretation. We're not supposed to condemn. We just supposed to automatically condemn nobody. We judging every day. You a hypocrite. You a liar if you say we ain't supposed to judge. Yet you running down to the court building and shit every week, trying to get your child support from your baby daddy, or trying to pay this ticket or whatever. If you really believe we ain't supposed to judge, you wouldn't be cooperating with none of this shit. So stop lying and learn the real definition and the real context of that phrase. But toxic masculinity, when a black man, that's the cold part, because it's really just anti-strong black males. It's just this society just hates a person like myself, that's a strong heterosexual black male, that stand on his testicles, that stand on the truth. That's already the most hated thing in a white supremacist world. So they'll use, the Satan, just like they use light-skinned blacks against dark-skinned blacks. They use conscious whites against conscious black, or not conscious whites, but dumb whites like KKKs and Nazi skinheads against dumb blacks, Bloods and Crips and all of that. This little Willie Lynch episode, this Willie Lynch tactic, is the gay thing. Turn the black people against the gays and the gays against the black people and shit. It's always that little war tactic, that little divide and conquer, keep the masses going at each other's throat little tactic. So now when we speak on it, in most cases, the masses of us is dumb. We ignorant. So we ain't working with nothing but feelings. Emotions. And we frustrated because of whatever we victims of, whether we victims of being poisoned to where our hormones is imbalanced, or we got the testosterone in our system being blocked so much that's why we feel like a woman. That's why we growing little breasts or whatever, because we've been poisoned. And at the same time, on top of that, we might have been molested or raped by our daddy or uncle or grandfather or brother or some man or even some woman. So them is all the factors that produce a homosexual for black people. Black people are never naturally homosexuals, never. Our homosexuality is a circumstance. It's a product of trauma or poisoning. So, and that can be proven. So I don't be bashing the homosexual. I be bashing what made us homosexual. But if you're a homosexual and you're trying to defend the disease, you're trying to defend the wound, then you become an enemy to your own healing. You become an enemy to your own self. So let some warriors defend you. Unfortunately, y'all been wounded, been poisoned, you've been traumatized. So I don't be on here talking about that. I just, I gotta first lay the foundation of how clearly unnatural and self-destructive that lifestyle or that death style is. How unhealthy, how dangerous, how unnatural. And now, let me show you who did this to you. Who did this to you? It's like cancer or diabetes or HIV or anything else. You know what I'm saying? Somebody manufactured that. Somebody created, some Caucasian scientist created all these diseases. GMO foods, that's what, we just don't want to believe that. Oh, God wouldn't, like we bring God into it and now we in space somewhere with some mystery Jesus spook. We don't want to be scientists. That's the bottom line. We don't want to be scientists. We in our feelings and we want to just feel and we lazy and we don't want to be a scientist and look at the truth. The truth hurt too much. But you got to go to the truth. You got to go to the root of why you became a homosexual. You were 90% of the time, if not more, you were molested as a child or you were raped. Male or female. You was molested or you was raped. And that is a permanent psychological wound. That is permanent psychological damage. Along with already having the 400 years of slavery trauma and damage in our DNA on top of that. So nobody else, like you said, nobody can understand. Hey, y'all don't understand. Yeah, some of us do understand. But just like anything, if you're sick or you're broken, break a bone or something, somebody gonna have to reset it. And resetting that bone, that broken bone, is gonna hurt just as worse as when you broke it. So now you're gonna call the doctor that reset your bone the enemy. You're trying to bash me. I'm already a victim. No, this is me actually trying to set your bone, to fix the situation. But it's gonna feel like I'm the one that broke it. It's gonna feel that same way. So that's our problem as conscious black people. We gonna get accused of being, are you hater, and you're causing pain, and you hurting us, and you hurting us. No, this is unfortunately the only process to heal a broken bone or heal a broken mind. You got to put it through some pain again. You have to make it face and revisit the thing that broke it in the first place. So that's why it hurts, But hey, no pain, no gain, right? Felicia for justice, peace. So if they've been violated and now have homosexual behaviors, what can they do with those feelings? It's just like any other psychological, it's therapy. You have to feed off of truth. You got to feed off of truth. It's like, in therapy, you have to face the thing that keyed that in, that installed that in the first place. So, like I said, especially with black women, probably 90%, if not more, of black women and girls have been molested. That's why you turn into thots and hoes and strippers and prostitutes and all of that, because psychologically as a little child, that's your coping mechanism, because I can't understand why a God or my parents or whatever, I'm an innocent little helpless young weak little girl child and this God or my parents would allow some grown up or some man or my brother or my uncle or my daddy or whatever. Like, so once you've been tampered with like that and damaged like that, molested or raped, life don't mean the same to you no more. Life don't mean, you don't make rational decisions. You don't, your value system ain't the same no more. Everybody else, the peers, think that you're supposed to live like this, you're supposed to feel like this about that, and you're supposed to feel like this about God and feel like this about relationships and love. That all that's out the window. If you was tampered with like that at an early age, that is what set your belief system or your spirituality or your values or your morals. That set it. So in a lot of cases, the coping mechanism is you run to it and embrace it and try to become that personality that victimized you. You don't want to be the victim. I don't want to stay that little girl. I got to be a man. I got to be one of these men like my uncle was, the one that raped me, the one that tampered with me. I got to put myself in that mentality and shit to even deal with this shit, to live with this shit. So that's the talk and the information and the truth and the facts and the science that we got to face. But once you start saying that shit hurt. That shit hurt just like you got raped. It get fresh. Just like you just now got molested. And you don't want to hear that. And I understand it. But that's the convo that real ones got to have. So it ain't a toxic masculinity. It's toxins is already there. We already sick. We already sick. So as your brother, like I said, I be wanting to have that conversation, and it's such a deep, permanent, potentially permanent, deep trauma, especially for males, because once a male psychologically get penetrated or violated by another man or another male penis, like you can't forget that somebody put a penis in your rectum or your anus or in your mouth, and you know what a penis tastes like, or you know what like all that's that's a real high crime that a lot of people just cannot come back from. It's hard for me to even imagine it. But that's what's been done to us. That's been done to black males for 400 years. We just couldn't get pregnant. We was getting raped just as much as our sisters and our mamas and our women was. We just couldn't get pregnant. So that's what's called buck breaking. The black male slave, you break their man, buck breaking, raping us. You know what I'm saying? Raping us. So that's it. That's it. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to lay that out there as a balance from my last post, because people feel like I'm hating. I hate homosexuals. No, I hate the homosexual victimizers that made us homosexuals. I hate them. I hate them with all my might. I hate them. And I hate the lifestyle. I hate homosexuality. I hate that. But I don't hate homosexuals. I don't hate homosexuals. I'm not homophobic. I don't fear homosexuals. Homophobic. Phobia, like I fear homosexuals. No, I fear for homosexuals. That's what I fear. I fear for y'all. Because life could be way better. You don't have to be going through that hell if you just face natural facts and truths about what was done to you. You're not the criminal. You the victim. Somebody violated you that need to be murdered, actually, that need to be killed. The ones that traumatized you, that sent you in the direction of homosexuality, whether it's locally, if it's our daddies, our uncles, our brothers, if they knew better, if they was adults. Children is victims themselves. But if they was adults, they need to be murdered. They need to be removed. And the systemic victimizer that's poisoning all of us with vaccinations that intentionally is trying to turn you out or stop your birth rate, meaning Satans themselves, these wickedly wise Caucasian scientists and world leaders and rulers that get together, that have already in 1976 in the National Memorandum 200 with Henry Kissinger and all that, and Agenda 21, they already wrote that they intend to depopulate the earth by 3 to 4 billion people, specifically black people. And the way that they're going to do it is through the food and through vaccinations and through homosexuality. So my black homosexual brothers and sisters, you are the victims. You are the victims. You ain't somebody that I'm mad at like that. I'm mad at the enemy that put y'all in that condition. I got real G homegirls that's lesbians and dykes or whatever, you know what I'm saying? That's realer than niggas. That's realer than a lot of my dude homeboys. And we had these conversations, and they like, yeah, man, it's just, it's like cigarettes or something. Like once you didn't adjust it, it's a real struggle. It's a real struggle. But shit, we've been struggling for 464 years out here, so we gonna get the W. But I just wanted to go on here and say that, that like I said, I love my black and brown homosexual brothers and sisters. I do not love homosexuality. I hate homosexuality, and I hate the enemies that traumatized you and us to even turn homosexual, to even have those feelings ever since you was little. Yeah, you had them feelings because somebody did something to you that made you focus on sex. They did something to you. They did something sexual to you, or they touched your sexual organs and made you focus, as a child, have to focus on sex or think about sex. Or you watched your daddy or your mama or somebody had pornos, or they was just real irresponsible and savage themselves. Children don't naturally do that. bump little TTs. Boys might bumpy little TTs when, you know, you taking a bath together. We don't know that that's sex. We ain't thinking about no damn sex. You're not thinking about sex until somebody do something sexual to you. So, unfortunately, that's what's been happening to us. So again, man, I love y'all. I love my homosexual black, brown family and red family and, you know, indigenous family. So don't get that part twisted. All right? Peace.